It is super windy today, so I figured today would be a great day to talk about some crazy wind stories. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and this is my new YouTube channel called Growing Up Shaman, where I tell true stories about non ordinary reality from the perspective of a shaman. Now, shamans are born with a certain elements that they resonate with very, very strongly. And so for me, that is air. And that has shown up in many different ways, like during journeying, where crazy experiences have happened. So the first time I had a crazy wind experience, it must have been like in the very beginning of when I met my shamanic teacher. So I'm going to say like 2013. I was in a shamanic class and we were learning how to shapeshift into different elements. And when it came to wind, I had a incredibly powerful healing experience. And after that, I seemed to be able to shapeshift into wind. And so when I say this, what I mean is like I would start out as meditating and making noises with my mouth that just like breathing sounds. But these breathing sounds would actually turn into the sounds of wind, and the wind would become powerful enough that other people in the room could hear it and feel it and sense it. And yeah, I had this one experience where I was in a shamanic nog group, which is a meeting that my shamanic teacher has like every couple of weeks. We have these nurturing our gifts group meetings. And so when I was doing my journeying, half the people claimed that they had heard or and felt the wind going in circles in the room. But the other half of the people that were in that room did not. So I don't understand how that happens, but I definitely felt it and experienced it. And I thought it was just all in my mind. But afterwards, when we were all going around talking about what we experienced during our journey, that's what I was told by half the people. So I found that very interesting. And anyways, my shamanic teacher, she remembered that experience. And so I remember, years later, probably 7 years later, I was taking another shamanic class. And in this one, she was teaching us how to shapeshift into different elements. And she had gotten the class all hyped up about my previous experience with the air. And so she had high hopes for me during this air ceremony that we were going to be doing. And so I did too, honestly. And but unfortunately, when I had the ceremony, nothing happened. I didn't have any kind of like crazy air experience or wind experience, and I was outside. So you would think that it would have had plenty of opportunity to express itself, but no, it did not until after I left that class. That was the last little exercise that we were going to do for the day, and then we were going to go home and then come back the next day. And when I left that class, as soon as I got on to the main road, I want to say it was the road's called 812. I was going north on 812, and then suddenly this huge garbage can comes up from the top of like somebody's driveway, and the wind blows it into the middle of the street. And then the big huge trash can, like one of those 33-gallon ones, or I don't know how big they are, maybe they're 75 gallons, but the big ones that you push over to the edge of the street, one of these big huge trash cans was suddenly in the middle of the street, and it was going in circles like right in front of me, and it was like it looked to me like it was dancing. It was so like this, and it was just very playful and fun looking. And I stopped my car, and I just had no choice but to just watch this as it's going on right in front of me. And luckily there was no other cars on that highway, so it was just me and the wind and this garbage can doing a little dance. And you know what it made me think of? It made me think of this Beauty and the Beast scene, the original Beauty and the Beast from, I don't know, maybe the 90s or whatever, um, where all of these inanimate objects are there with Bella, and they're like so excited to see her, and they're like all these inanimate objects are dancing and singing a song, and that's just what it reminded me of. So when I got home, I actually looked up on YouTube like the Beauty and the Beast scene that I was thinking of in my head when I saw this trash can dancing, and it I listened to the words that they were singing, and you know what it was singing? It was saying, be our guest," and it was just going on about how like they're welcoming Bella, and it just felt to me like the air spirits were actually super happy for me to be trying to connect with them, and it just felt like they were dancing and just so happy. And another thing that it reminded me of, this is kind of very personal, but um, it reminded me of the father-daughter dance that I had with my dad during my first wedding. So, what was interesting about that dance was that it started out completely normal, and me and my dad were dancing, and then suddenly, towards like the middle, somewhere in the middle of the song, my dad gets a wild hair up his ass and decides the tune of the song that we're going to be dancing to is different in his head, and it's going way faster. I don't know if his anxiety kicked in or what, but he just suddenly started dancing like crazy and twirling me around in circles, and for that, it just reminded me of that moment, and it felt like the wind was with me during my wedding, during a ceremony that I was in, and there with me during the dance, and it felt like my dad was the trash can. Honestly, I hate to say that, but it's true, because my dad, he was the person that inflicted the most trauma on me. So anyways, I just I thought about that message that spirit was giving to me through that dancing trash can, and trying to figure out what it was trying to say to me. And it seemed to me like they were referencing Beauty and the Beast, my dad being the beast and me being the beauty that comes out of all that trauma that my bloodline needed to process. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed that story. The wind finally calmed down. So, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for listening. Bye.